Go for it.
Deposition given by Dale and Air. Today is March 14th. Teams focus real heavy on what's coming in from the outside. You know, what are my applications? What are my ports? I mean, I think by the time you get to regional, every team, all these teams here know how to get a firewall up or how to get a router up with a packet filter to only let what comes in, right? State competition, half the teams don't know that, and that's what weeds out that first selection is. You know, I can't protect my perimeter enough, and the red team can walk all over it. So everybody gets that, right? That's bottom line. Not a lot of teams watch what's going on out of their network. In fact, very few watch, and it's a very simple thing to do to watch what's going on. And it doesn't, you know, it's not as complex as setting up a span port. I mean, a lot of people are going to jump into, oh, I need a span port with an IDS. No, just load Wireshark in a couple of your boxes. All the Unix boxes already have Ethereal or TCP dump on them. It's already there. Run that. Watch what's going on. Learn, get good at writing some scripts where I can say my box is the source address and the destination is not my network, right? Because you're going to see a lot of crap on your network, right? And the problem with Wireshark and sniffers is you see all this stuff. And the problem is there's a lot of needles going by, but there's also a lot of hay, right? There's way more hay than there are needles. Get them good at writing scripts that say, I want to see my box as the source address, but not my network as the destination address. And if you do that, you're going to see the needles, and you're only going to see the needles. Well, you're going to see some DNS lookups and stuff like that. But you're going to see those, you know, the bots John was referring to, all that stuff's going to float up to the top really quick. And you're going to see what, you know, everybody kind of says, let's go look on our boxes and find bots, right? And that's good, you need to do that, but use the intelligence to say, oh, I only need to look at 3, because those are, or I need to look at those 3 first, because they're the ones I see bot activity come out. You know, the stuff the red team installed, they weren't that sophisticated. You know, they were sophisticated enough to kind of bury themselves into what looks like normal protocol traffic, but they were pretty chatty. You know, normal. Not that I would do this, but if I was going to do something covertly, I mean, I make the thing talk very infrequently. Not these guys. I mean, these were talking very frequently, and teams aren't focusing on
pretty
that.
obviously named.
Yep.
Whenever you see a
Yeah, but and again, I'm gonna be teaching the test here. But if I'm putting in my firewall that says and you know, don't quote me exactly because boxes are gonna have different services. But if I have a web server that has to talk to the internet, we're real good at saying, you know, that box should allow port 80 traffic to come to it. But guess what else you could write? You could also write a rule that says that box should only talk port 80 back out to the network, source port 80. Granted, it's going to be a bunch of random source ports from everybody else, but that box should never be going to a port 80. Okay, now see, I just gave away that right there. That's the key to the competition, and I gave it away.
well, with the bot and with the way that they're running.
Because what do you do if you shut that down?
But the port doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean,
well,
more to the
point,
action. More to the
action.
point of looking at that outbound traffic, looking at what's responding and where's it going.
Exactly.
And, you know, at the state competition, I noticed one team had installed OSSEC across the board right away, and I was really impressed at that. That's exactly the kind of thing that I would want to be able to have down, so that I can start monitoring my systems.
You know,
It's a host intrusion detection system. It's called OSSEC.
Oh, okay. Our team did that at States, and I asked them last night if they'd done that, and they said, no, we didn't have time. That was the
Well, and I know
the
that
issue on a lot of the stuff is they're just getting hit so hard with the injects that that stuff doesn't get taken care of.
Well, that's me doing my job then.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, it may be part of my injects test more out of the bounds of the technical part of the competition, but that's still, you know, if I can configure a Windows box well alone, I can't work with 5 other people. You know, okay, well, I can go work for a very small company on my own, and that's it. And I'm gonna be that surly IT guy who's a total bleep hole to everybody. But if I can work with people, and if I can communicate and coordinate and break that up and say, okay, well, I'm gonna take 2 guys and I'm gonna make sure that the HIDS gets put up first. Or I'm gonna take 1 guy, or, you know, 2 guys and say, you guys are reviewing the config and install on everything. You're doing a complete configuration review to see what we're getting right now. Because I heard the red team talking about, you know, oh, well, this other team had OS X, so someone did that this weekend. And the red team's like, well, that's a process we should stop. You know, and that's well, okay, so you have a HIDS, but it's already logged. Did you do a review to see what's running and examine what looks suspicious and what doesn't? Did you examine that traffic before you install a post-intrusion detection system? You know, it's a great tool to have, but it can also turn into a crutch right away if you think that's all you need.
But do it on your router too. You know, if you don't have time to do it to load OSSEC and defense in depth, right? Do it wherever you can do it. And the teams put so much focus on watching what's coming in, and then they just stop. And you know, if you want to, a lot of people say, oh, it's unfair that the red team puts a bot there. Well, number 1, a bot's a reality, and it's going to happen. And number 2, you know, they kind of stop and it's like, oh, there's nothing we can do. No, there's a lot you can do about it. Don't let them talk to the bot. Don't let the bot talk, or I should say, don't let the bot talk back to the red team. Shut the bot down. Then worry about getting rid of it.
Well at that.
Yeah.
At least yesterday.
Sure.
I think some of them came back.
I mean, it's going to take a while to find the bot, so shut it down. Don't let it talk. My position is done.